This wasn't a plan live. This is just me and my own thoughts thinking, I'm going to share this with people and see if anyone else feels the same. I home educate our youngest child, and I home educated my middle child for a couple of years too. And there's various reasons, but mainly at the moment it's just because I don't agree with the school system and the things that they teach and the way they're teaching, and just generally the way things are being run in a lot of schools, especially senior schools. I feel like they're resembling sort of like little mini prison camps more than they are education settings. But one thing that just really came to me this evening when I was thinking about a couple of things was, imagine if schools taught life skills. So instead of teaching things like algebra, that majority of people are going to leave school and never need, biology, chemistry, unless you're going into those fields, you don't need those things. And I know in the last couple of years of school, you can choose your topics to link in more with what your career choices are. But I just think that schools are missing a real fundamental part of life skills. And I know as parents, we teach our children those things, and each family's view on life skills would be different. But realistically, your children are in school 40 hours a week. They're in school majority of the time. So you only have small pockets of time really to feed other information into them. And I just think, imagine if as teenagers, for example, we learnt the importance of things like the person that you choose to be with in a relationship going forward into your adult life can have a big factor on the lifestyle you have. So, for example, if you meet someone who's quite ambitious, if you are as well, quite work driven, quite success minded, chances are if you make it work in a relationship together, you're going to both hit a success peak in your life earlier than people who are getting into relationships with bad people who are going to drag them away from any focus, who are going to keep having breakups, new relationships, breakups. You're kind of starting all over again with the progress in life. And realistically, then as a couple, you're going to build things together in life slower. And before anyone jumps on and says, you don't need a partner to build success, I completely agree with that. However, I'm just saying, majority of people at some point do settle with someone and build a life together, a family, house, whatever. And I just think if you can meet someone similar minded earlier on in life without kind of the bad people and broken relationships, you're going to hit that together as a couple quicker. Also, things like the risks of getting involved with credit cards too early, loans, having all those things to pay back when you're first like in your working career. I personally am not a massive fan of this whole like, oh, you have to leave school, you have to go to university to become successful or to be deemed as successful in society. Oh, well done, load of praise for leaving university with 20k plus in debt that you're going to pay off for your first few years working life. However, if somebody as a young person starts a business, a lot of people can be a bit like, oh, that's a risk. To me, it's more of a risk doing a university degree and leaving with a whole load of debt. And then I know loads of people who have got degrees as architects, as lawyers, etc., and they can't even find work in that field. They're having to go and do normal jobs. So, things like in teaching them the importance of saving rather than spending, looking at whether the option is to get mortgages or to save a bulk of money and then have a smaller mortgage, just all those kind of things like financial advice, life advice, relationship advice. If schools created time through the week to have that as a topic, especially for later year senior children in senior schools, I honestly think so much more people would start their adult life with a lot more common sense to move from. And like I said, a lot of parents will teach that to their children, but there's also a lot of parents out there that are so busy working, aside from the children being in school, they don't really have time to sit with their children necessarily to tell them those things. Or some parents are just very like, let them learn themselves from their own errors, which is fine. And if that's your way, I just really think, we're sending, well, I'm not, but people are sending their children to school, and a lot of the hours are being wasted on them learning things that they don't need in their life. So I'd just love to hear other people's opinions. And I know this will be a really mixed topic because some people are still very focused on the fact that the school and the school system is the only way in life. And a lot of people are now becoming open-minded to the fact that that's not true and that there's many ways our children can learn and grow and flourish without the school system. But I want to get more in the habit on here of just sharing my thoughts and asking other people's opinions, because it's good to get to know people on here and find out other people's opinions. It can sort of expand your own opinion sometimes. So yeah, let me know your thoughts.